Welcome to the Inventory Source Podcast. With 15 years of experience in e-commerce, dropshipping, and data automation, we bring you notable insight and knowledge of e-commerce and tech from industry experts.
All right, hey everybody, this is Austin with Inventory Source coming at you again with another podcast featuring some of our suppliers here that we're integrated with. Today's episode is going to be pretty cool. I have Mike with Essendant on with us. If you haven't heard of Essendant, if you are dropshipping, you probably have. Essendant is a massive company where they sell janitorial, sanitation, office supplies, kind of, really all in there, a huge product catalog that you guys have and offer, and not just dropshipping. I mean, you guys do a bunch of different stuff and have your hands in wholesaling and in the e-commerce realm. And I've got Mike here with me. So Mike's going to jump in, is going to give us a little bit of a background about Essendant. Mike, thanks for joining, man. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could just, give the listeners here a good background about Essendant, what you're currently doing, how Essendant kind of came to be, and just more information about the company.
Sure. I mean, our value proposition and what we kind of say that we bring is we power our partners to reach the modern workplace. And what does that mean, right? So we are a wholesaler. We've got warehouses across the country. And we power our partners, we do business with resellers, and we power their success by integrating a vast product assortment, a world-class fulfillment network, and a full suite of advanced sales, marketing, and digital tools. And that's where we plug in with you guys quite a bit. So we like to think of ourselves as sort of this seamless solution that powers possibilities for smarter operations, expansion of categories into a lot of different products, and business growth for independent and larger resellers across the country. So like you said, we've got our operational capabilities. We've got warehouses all over the country carrying everything from office products to janitorial supplies to industrial supplies to office technology products. So we can drop ship, we can wrap and label. We work with a lot of independent resellers that are, that stock product in their own warehouses. So we're delivering those products to them so that they can then deliver to their customers. And then we also are able to drop ship all over the country. We like to try to say we can get almost any item that you need from our assortment overnight, depending on your location. So we bring that value proposition. And in addition to that, and having the large assortment of products, we also have a lot of, we've got product content, we've got catalogs, we've got, marketing, digital services, hosted search, analytics, things like that folks that are doing most of their business online can use to, just to sell more products and improve their business.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the conversation that I've heard about people using you guys as a dropship supplier. Obviously, everybody listening here, Inventory Source, we are in the data automation, but specifically to dropship suppliers. And some of the best customers that we have gotten, and we've kind of done some hand holding with and really making sure that we get everything up and going for your mutual or our mutual customers, right? You guys have had some great customers, you and actually the other Mike at Essendant, right? You guys have been awesome from customer service standpoint as well. You guys are very responsive with anything that we see. You guys quickly reach out to us if there's anything that we need to be aware of in regards to the tech issues, the changes. So that's a huge deal that I feel like I've seen with different suppliers in our realm, and just making sure that you guys have that high touch, and you guys absolutely do. And you hit the nail on the head, especially from what I've heard, is you guys have one of the biggest catalogs out there that you provide in regards to not just wholesaling but drop shipping. What's the SKU count for you guys that you have?
I think right now it's probably around 60,000 plus stocked products. And as far as how many of those that you could get online, I think it's probably just under between 45 and 50,000 maybe, as far as what you actually would have product content for and could put, rich content with multiple images and all that stuff online. But the total number of, I think, stock products is probably 60 to 70,000.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think that brings me into something that popped up in my head, and this is really a personal question that I kind of wanted to ask is a little bit of a background about Ascendant and where you guys are, how you got to where you are today. Is we first got integrated with I guess you guys, but branded as United Stationers, and then I've seen working with you guys in the past year and looking at your site and working with customers is it seems you guys have merged a bunch of different companies or departments, I guess per se, into the main Ascendant, right? Is that correct?
It's sort of, yeah. I mean, and I've been with the company for 6 years, so I can give you just that much history and
Yeah.
what I know. But when I started, it was United Stationers. So United Stationers was kind of the main entity, and I think historically had been more focused in the office products, office technology space. But even at that point, when we joined, there was a division called Azerty, which I believe had used to be a separate company that had focused on technology, was part of United Stationers. Still, a lot of people knew it as Azerty. Lagasse was a janitorial and sanitation focused company that was under the United Stationers bucket, but a lot of people still kind of knew it as Lagasse.
Mhm.
We also have ORS NASCO, which is a different entity that was more focused in industrial. A couple years, I think it was maybe 2015, we sort of said, well, United Stationers, people think of that as just office products. We're really kind of going in this direction of um, we want to be a wholesaler across a wider category assortment, right? And not just be known as this sort of just office products um, company. So I think at that point we undertook this rebranding. So United Stationers as a company became Ascendant, and as part of that, we started rolling in all of the other sort of subsidiaries, or not all, but the ones that like Lagasse that I mentioned into the fold, and tried to I kind of brand everything as Ascendant as one company, and operate that way so that we could consolidate our operations, and make things more efficient. So um, a lot of people still, I mean, just historically, they still refer to us as United Stationers because they've been doing business with us so long. That's kind of how they think of us. But it wasn't like Ascendant came along and scooped everything up. I mean, it's basically the same company but rebranded.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. We still get people in, saying United Stationers. We've had a couple customers come in talk about Oars NASCO as well.
Yep.
So it's definitely some good background there to really kind of see how everything kind of came together. And under everything being under Ascendant, I think is awesome. Obviously, it makes it easy for us because can't tell you how many times we've gotten that this company name, and people changing company names all the time. Me working with our suppliers, it happens a lot. But going off of that, real quick, what's your job title? This is the longest job title I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Let me know, just so the viewers can hear it.
Yeah. So, senior manager of content syndication and technology partnerships.
Okay, I love it. I mean, hey, I want something like that too. That sounds awesome. So going off of that, right? You're in the kind of the data realm, right? And so are we.
Yes.
And you see the challenges in regards to your customers. Obviously, that's kind of where we come in, and we want to help facilitate that. We want to help streamline that. Make all this data synergy, right? We need to make sure that's all in one spot. Get it onto your sales channel wherever you're selling, and make sure everything's up to date with pricing and with quantities, order, making that seamless order, routing, the tracking, everything like that. Have you seen more and more? I guess I mean we could say e-commerce guys, but brick and mortar guys, almost in essence, trying to get into this e-commerce realm and to try to make everything as automated as possible. What's some e-commerce trends that you guys see in regards to kind of this data, either automation or really seeing brick and mortars trying to get into this online and e-commerce space.
Well, absolutely. I mean, not only are I think more and more of them getting into it on their own. I mean, we're trying to push them into that direction as well because, in today's market, I think in order to compete and be successful in business, you have to have that sort of e-commerce presence. Um, so just getting that sort of e-commerce storefront up and running, having content on your webpage, having the ability to take orders and do those things, even if you already have a brick and mortar store, is really, really important. I think particularly in the B2B world where you may have clients who really, they kind of know what they want, and they want to be able to go in there and find products and or enter orders quickly and things like that. So even some of the resellers, particularly in the Jansan space, where we've sort of been expanding and getting into a lot of new customers, finding that maybe they traditionally were not um, into e-commerce quite as much, but it's amazing. They're all they're catching on quickly and seeing the importance of it for sure. Even some of the customers that maybe aren't doing as much drop shipping, but are just by moving their ordering to an online system versus just phone orders or fax or email and stuff, they're seeing more accurate data coming through for the orders, less returns, less confusion, and they're seeing that their customers are coming to them, wanting this. So it's almost not just the fact that, hey, we need to get into e-commerce to keep up. It's like, what customers could I be losing if I don't have, e-commerce ordering capabilities and online? So yeah, things are definitely moving in that direction, and we're really trying to help as much as we can to support
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that a lot. A lot of suppliers come in, they try to help out as much, like you said, as they can, and you have to go with the times, right? I mean, you can't just get by with having a brick and mortar store in this day and age where everybody's online, right? We all have phones in our pockets, we all have a computer or something, in front of us, some type of internet in front of us, even if it is social media, and everybody's buying what they want, what they need into that. And I see it with even with my parents, right? And seeing with that generation doing it now too. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head, right? You have to stick up with the times and realize that you could definitely be losing customers with not being in the e-commerce realm. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. Um, going off of that, one thing that I like to talk about with our suppliers and just kind of seeing what you guys do. What's the dealer application process look like for you guys? Like, what's the requirements you look for? How long's the onboarding process? How much of a hand holding do you guys do? And then going off of that, what type of customer service do you guys give? I like to kind of see exactly what you guys provided in regards to the hand holding, account management, maybe like a live chat, like things like that. What's that look like for dealers trying to come on board with you?
Sure. I'll admit I'm a little light on the onboarding as far as the details, but we do have a group that, if you fill out an application or you're working with, I believe it's Sales Express might be the name of the group, but would have to double check that to onboard a new customer. And they'll ask probably questions about, volume of business, what type of products are you
Sure.
interested in carrying, and those kind of general things. Once a customer is sort of in the system, I think onboarded and prepared to work, I think the type of things that we offer, they're going to have an account manager at some level, right? And that's somebody that they can partner with to understand their pricing and maybe talk about what assortments of products make sense for them, and maybe talk a little bit about what they as a customer do, and treat their account manager as sort of the partner to help support their value proposition. And the account manager can help with things like um, in addition to just, these are the products that you have and this is how much it is. I mean, they can really help to consult on, hey, if you're doing business in these areas, these are our warehouses. This is how you might want to set up your warehouse network to get, make sure you're getting all the products you need overnight. And here's a freight plan that might work for you. And, there's all these different details that they can partner with. And increasingly, a lot of what they partner with their account manager on can include the the marketing and e-commerce services that we provide. So we like to, in addition to just having product content, which is one of the big things that we do have available for shops that have a website that need the
Mhm.
content and the images and all those things for those products. We can provide that. We have a system, a self-service system where they can go and download their pricing and determine their assortment. Um, and also get some assistance on how to price certain products for consumers. So that's something that we can help out with. Um, Operationally, I think for stocking dealers, we have something called wrap and label. So let's say and you may be familiar with this, and other wholesalers probably provide it, but if you're somebody that wants to get a bunch of products in an order and deliver it for one of your other for one of their end users, we can wrap and label that, get the order all prepared. We can even put If it happened to be drop ship and things like that, we can spray paint the label of your company on the box. It's kind of neat. I've been in the warehouse and see how that
Cool.
kind of works, if it's going out. And so we try to personalize it to kind of go in with your value proposition there. But yeah, as far as the digital marketing stuff, in addition to content, we've got a hosted search. We've got a digital analytics program where, if they've worked with an e-commerce provider that is sort of aligned with us, it's tag their pages in a certain way to capture click-through data and web, we can help provide reports to those dealers on that data that help them, how's their e-commerce business doing? Is this email promotion that you're involved with working well? How if not, what can you do to, tweak it and make it work a little better? We try to be pretty active in digital and e-commerce and help our dealers there because we feel that's really important.
Wow.
Obviously, we've got the printed catalogs, so that we provide. So I think a lot of it though is really just partnering across, whether it's operationally, whether it's marketing, whether it's content, whether it's digital, all these areas. We try to have touch points with the customer and really help them, um, go to market, and that's definitely part of our value proposition.
Yeah, man, that's some awesome stuff that you guys provide that in regard to, the marketing that you do for your customers. That's something that I don't see in a lot of suppliers. A lot of suppliers don't give that handhold. They don't get that touch, that customer service in regards to really helping out their mutual customers, their accounts, and make sure that they succeed, in e-commerce. That's some really awesome stuff. And, that's really going to transition me into my next question. I always love asking this because I know we're going to have some Essendant listeners out there, and we're going to have some other guys that are probably interested in you guys. But what's some stuff that you guys were able to accomplish? Back in 2017, 2018, since we're wrapping up 2018 here. What's some cool things we can be excited about, and your customers can be excited about?
Sure. Well, over the past year or so, we're continually sort of investing in our um, e-commerce and digital capabilities. A lot of that's around the digital analytics that I mentioned. We've got some hosted ratings and reviews services that we've put out in the past year or so, where um, we're sort of gathering a bunch of ratings and reviews from suppliers and across all of our dealers and sharing that out. So it's a widget that somebody could integrate onto their website to, because product reviews we're finding is so important
Yeah,
as part of
absolutely.
that experience. That's something that we've done over the past few years. Um, We've had a lot of success with our premium relationships, which are, additional curated product relationships. So if somebody's going to search for a product and they want other products to pop up that might be a supply or an accessory or a similar type of item to that, that's also something else that we manage and can provide for our dealers, because that can take a lot of time to curate on their end, and that's not always, if that's something we can do, then we push that out. But so in addition to some of these digital services, our email programs, we work pretty closely with dealers to help. We've had a lot of success the past years with email programs where we can help manage that for the dealers. We even give them the ability to customize if they want. If they want to go in and take our templates, customize them, even change the item assortments a little bit, and fire out some emails to their customers. We offer things like an abandoned cart email service and some other things that plug in with our analytics. So if somebody's going to the site and they fill up their cart and they forget, we can be automatically sending out emails to those customers and letting them know, hey, you've still got this in the cart, are you going to buy? And we're trying to plug in all these additional services that really tie into our analytics that help help convert sales and things like that. And as part of all this digital services work that we do, one of the challenges we have is or not challenges, but something that we have to do is partner with a lot of different, there's so many different e-commerce software providers. And that's where, like, when I get to work with you guys and where companies like you become so important, because we've got all these great services, content, and all these different things that we want to provide. There's a wide range of e-commerce companies, web companies, and things that work with our customer base. And so it becomes very important for us to, understand who's out there like you guys, work with you guys to make sure that you can be successful, understanding what our data is. Can you grab our inventory data, which obviously you do? Can you grab our product content? Can you get our pricing? Do you understand the structure of it? And can you then, you know, deliver that to a customer site so that it makes sense. I mean, a lot of the dealers, even if they do understand e-commerce, it's a lot of data and integration that we're passing back and forth between, and that's just our company, right? They might be doing business with multiple companies. So, on my end, I'm working with a lot of providers such as yourselves to make sure that you guys are always up to date with what we're doing and what we can offer, so that you can then offer it to our mutual customers. And because it's complex, it's a lot of data, and they having a services like you guys out there is really important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And obviously not everybody is tech savvy, right? Not everybody has a development team. Not everybody, knows how to do file uploads and then have the time to do that, right? On top of everything else in regards to running e-commerce business. And, once people get their foot in the door of e-commerce and selling online, they're going to realize it's just as much as a brick and mortar store. A lot of work you're going to have to do, a lot of man work, a lot of power into making everything as seamless as possible. So no, it's some awesome stuff there, and obviously, we love working with companies like you guys. You guys are awesome suppliers. Great relationship. I got to give a shout out to our account manager Justin over here, who's really been working with you guys a lot lately. Definitely in the past couple of years, and making sure that everything works right, fitting your formats, grabbing the pricing correctly, getting the correct files, pinging the correct FTP or API, whatever it may be, right? Stuff like that. So he's definitely been making sure that everything's good there. So definitely a great relationship. And my last question before we jump off here is anything you can give us insight into 2019 and in the future? Anything you guys got coming up on the roadmap?
Well, it's a little bit in flux right now because we're working through some, and you may have seen this on the web. We're working through a merger with Staples. So we're still pushing forward with all of our current digital initiatives, and trying to make improvements in our services but I'm sure there's going to be great things to come in 2019 as we increase our abilities to engage digitally and operationally with customers as a result of that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming ahead.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming our way too. We're rolling out some new products, some new services that we're going to be coming out in 2019. We're really excited about. We've been listening to our customers as well, in regards to what they're wanting. So just throwing that in there. Mike, I know you guys are on the supplier side of things. We actually might be doing some stuff on the supplier side of things too. So just kind of keep an eye out there. But Mike, thanks so much for joining, man. I really appreciate it. We got a lot of great content in there. Our viewers, or actually our listeners, they're going to be probably super excited about this, and I'm sure we'll have some of the Sunday guys in there listening. So thanks again, man. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, and thanks for having me.
All right, sounds good. If anybody's looking out and looking for that next top supplier, and you guys really know what you're doing out there, I mean, Essendant's the real deal. You're definitely going to want to go check them out. Doing a lot of big things on the horizon, and you kind of got a gist of exactly what they sell. So thanks everybody for listening. Again, go check out Essendant. Mike, thanks again. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Coming up here in the next week or two. Thanks for listening.